belief in envisioning and putting in the work on a daily basis of creating the life that you want to live, right? But you kind of have to listen to clues. And some people may not even realize that they're thinking in a certain way, right? You know, you talk to a successful business owner and you ask them, how'd you even build this? How'd you even create it? And they said, I was just obsessed with my vision on a daily basis.
Y'all, welcome back to another episode of the CVMK show, because it is what it is. First of all, Happy New Year to you. It's 2025, and you're watching this, we're into 2025. I'm super excited to be with you to bring you another episode, because it is what it is on this show. The best podcast host on the planet, because I'm the best podcast host, your boy, Cody, aka Mr. CMk33 himself. Look, you guys have been amazing, and I do mean amazing. We got a lot of cool things happening in 2025. This is just the beginning. I do mean this is just the beginning. That's why I had to wait to release it, because this is just the beginning. First of all, from new format to new layout to even new lighting, you can see some of the new lights in my glasses. It's going to be an amazing time. We have an amazing guest, a competitor brand, but an amazing guest nevertheless. I'm super excited about talking to him. His name is Chris Reid. He's the CEO and founder of Ultra Health Products. We're just going to discuss leadership. I promise you this will not be an infomercial, but I love competing, and we do compete because that's what American capitalism is all about. And the best shall compete against the best. And he's a dang good person with a dang good brand. So we're going to go there, but it's all about you guys. You guys have been amazing. I was looking at our analytics today on the ground. You guys have put us over 90,000 followers. YouTube is growing. I'm super elated. It's only because of you. This is why we do this. But I want y'all to look. I want y'all to get me to 100. I'm talking about on both platforms, and I know you can do it. I want y'all to get me to 100, because the company is designed to bring all the things you need: transformative thought, product, life, faith, energy. It's all there so that you can be your best self. That's the whole thing behind CVMK. Be your own hero. You guys make it possible. And when we return, and we shall return, even with the hoarse voice, we shall return. We will be with the one, the only, Chris Reid, after this quick break. Chris, how you doing today, man?
Good. How you doing, Cody?
I am well. I appreciate you for asking. Other than this voice, this hoarse voice sort of happens when you go to a Pentecostal church. You never have a voice, but it is amazing, man. I feel great. 2025 is going to be a fantastic year. I know it. I know all the work in the prior years just leads to this thing. It's crazy. I made a video yesterday. I don't post everything. I never post my self, very rarely. Thank God. But I said in a post, I said in a video, you don't start 2025 goals on January 1. You start January 1, 2023. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
you start
right.
that. And that's what I want to get into, man. We're going to get into the leadership aspect of what it really takes to make it, because I'm declaring, I said, this year you shall win, right? I'm going to call it the winning year. So
absolutely.
Before we get into that, before we go down this rabbit hole, for them that don't know you, I know you. I met you at the NPC show in Bloomington, Illinois. Your booth was next to ours. But for them that have not had the pleasure, if you could just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Chris Reid. I am the founder and CEO of a gummy-based vitamin company called Ultra Health Products. We will actually be celebrating our 1-year anniversary in business next month. So super excited. We have a lot in the works for 2025. I'm located in Central Illinois, but the goal is to build a worldwide brand. So super excited to be here. Super excited to talk with you, Cody. And looking forward to it.
Cool. I am looking forward to this. I had the pleasure of having Kalim on, and that was hilarious and fun. Super nice guy. I mean, super cool Tennessean or Tunisian. I don't know. Is it Tennessean or Tunisian? Whatever. So just super cool guy. And we were talking about what it takes to get, and this isn't even a rival. It's just to get to this point, right? Sometimes I think leaders, entrepreneurs, people that want to do something, whatever that something is, they get into it, but I don't know how committed they are. I don't know. I don't judge you can't say motive. I mean, we all want to make money, though that should not be the sole reason you get into something. But the commitment to the vision, to the mission, to providing the service, I think is missing from business, right? And what I'm seeing is everybody's trying to find the turnkey solution. Everybody's trying to find the hack. I always joke and say my first 2-3 years, I was lucky to get 10 likes on a post. And I've kept them up there for a reason, to remind myself. Right. So where we are now, how many goose eggs did I drop?
Right.
So let's start here. Let's start with committing yourself to the vision, right? When you think of committing yourself to the vision, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think so few people, and this just isn't even in business, this is just in life, right? People just underestimate the work it takes and the reps you have to put in to truly be good at something, right? Yeah. People just want the super fast result. And, it's funny, I was talking to a mentor of mine a few weeks ago, and, he's someone that's kind of seen the progression of not just my company, but me as a person, and the path I've been on. And he's like, Chris, I can tell your skill set is coming together very quickly for you. And that's 100% true. But at the same time, I have put in, this is years in the making for me, really. And like I said, people just underestimate that. And, when you're committed to your vision, where you see your life, you have to understand it is going to be a very, very lonely journey and lonely path. For me, I'll be 30 here in a few months. And for me, one of the hardest parts about, kind of this progression is the commitment to you're going to be on a different life path just from everyone else, and a lot of people just, they just cannot deal with that. I've seen close friends of mine, people in my life, I've seen them, seemingly have success or progress, in their daily lives of, getting the corporate job, starting a family. And I just knew from a relatively young age that I was just going to be on a different path from everyone else, and it's an extremely lonely journey, 100%, but as, I've kind of started to break through over these past few months, and I know we can get into that, but it feels really good. And when you're lined up with what you're meant to do,
sure,
things just work out. It's literally crazy, and there's so many ups and downs in business. I mean, this, there's so many ups and downs. Some days you feel on top of the world, right? And you're like, everything is clicking. I'm on the right path. Everything is going well. And then there's other days where you're just like, what am I even doing? Right. You're questioning every step. But when you just have that faith that, what, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm creating something that's going to last a long, long time. So, I hope that answers the question.
No, it does. So you mentioned, you said I was going to go down a different path, and it is a very lonely road. I said, I was speaking with my wife about it. I said, and I told Kalim the same thing. I do not, that's not a word. I do not expect everybody that knows you to follow you, to buy from you, to subscribe to you. But I do expect, if you don't have a differing alternative and a relationship with the differing alternative, to at least consider the option of support. One of the first challenges that I've had, and in 2025, I said I'm going to pivot to not holding or not blaming what I thought the tribe was, right? Because what you find out is, even though people could have grown up with you, they could have been in the same family as you, whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're your tribe, right? And so even when it comes to building a business, a lot of times what you find out is that everybody isn't rooting for you the same way that you thought they would be rooting for you. I'm not saying it's jealousy, but I do think it's a disconnectedness that we don't want to discuss. And I've said this, like, most of the time, you're not going to know, particularly in this niche, two of the same CEOs. Like, this is rare. You know,
right.
This is rare. You're not going to have Pepsi and Coke on the same podcast. You're just not, right? Like, so you're not going to have Amazon and Walmart on the same podcast, right? Like, it's just, even Bezos would never sit with Doug. Like, they're two different animals, but yet they have the same universe at the same time. What you find out is who you thought was going to be that person to like, to subscribe, to comment. A lot of the stuff that really takes no true merit, no effort, no real dedication, are the ones that disappoint the most. And as a leader, you have to see it, receive it, study it, forgive it, and then move toward them that do, right?
Yep.
For you, what has been your kind of strategy in dealing with the emotional development of it all?
Yeah, it's so interesting, because I think one of the biggest lessons I learned last year, there's a lot of people in my circle that have literally seen this grow from, hey guys, I'm starting a supplement company, like literally, right?
Yeah.
And we're about to be in Hy-Vee here locally, which for people who aren't familiar, it's one of the bigger grocery chains here in the Midwest. But to see people, you know, at the beginning, people kind of were like, "Oh, Chris, good luck. You know, good luck with that. You're starting a company. That's interesting. Have fun. You know." Yeah. But to see where we're at now, and to see those same people, to see the realization in their eyes of, holy crap, like, Chris is not playing around, right? Yeah. Yeah. To see that, it's so interesting, and I take so many lessons from that, right? Because I think this kind of gets to a deeper truth of the first step in kind of doing anything in life or achieving anything is people have to believe it's even possible, right? Like,
True.
And most people don't, you know. You ask people if they want to do or accomplish anything, and like, most people will tell you something, right? But the second they have to take any sort of action to accomplish that, they don't, because they don't even believe it's possible. To them, it's like, what's the point, right? So if you just have that initial belief and you're lined up with what you're meant to be doing, and like I said, that can take years to figure out exactly what your niche is, right? I feel like I'm just now kind of figuring out what am I actually good as an entrepreneur, right? Because we all have strengths and weaknesses, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, like I said, I think people have to just realize that they can accomplish the things they want, right? Yeah. They just have to take that initial step, and it's going to be terrifying. Every step of this journey for me, from launching my own brand, has been terrifying. Honestly, I'm still terrified to this day, but I just dove in head first, and I continue to put in the work on a daily basis, and finally doors are opening for us.
Pulled up, made my appearance.
Happy New Year, my CVMK tribe. Story for y'all for the year 2025. Your boy Malcolm here at Goddamn Malcolm. Before we get into today's leg workout, I just want to remind you guys, we got our CVMK line up here, the super thick creatine, transform, the superpower, D-Way, everything completely stocked up. Get it while it's hot. So we gonna power our workout today with superpower. In 2025, y'all, we want to let y'all in deeper. CVMK is coming for it all, man. So stay tuned.
Yeah, but she could barely move the needle. Hoppers always hating cause they trying to do the needle. I know I'ma make it cause I need to. Feeling like Sean, I'm the Don. Hop out the whip, call up a valet. The way I be spending this money, you look like a ballet. Told her she can meet me at the chalet, bring her.
Things take time to develop, so I'm super excited for the path forward.
Yeah, so we're going to go there and we're talking about this commitment, right? This kind of faith that works there. We're going to cut to a quick break. When we return back, Chris Reid, we're going to talk about what that commitment actually looks like after word from our sponsors.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. We are back, Chris Reid. I want y'all go. I got superpower with me. I was looking for my warrior thirst. It's right over there, but I brought it with me. Y'all. I want y'all to get it today. www.cvmkglobal.store. I'm giving you a code just for this show, and I'll keep it active. New you CVMK, y'all. 35% off. I'm gonna bless y'all now because I want you to get it. I want you to win, and I've been in the spirit of giving. I don't know, so y'all get it today. www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, so I hear it. I think, and so I'm a big political buff. Like I probably, the older I get, the more I watch the news, the more I watch everything, the more I read. I try to read a hard copy and a digital copy a month, 2 books a month. So I have my Audible, and then I have what I'm reading now. I think I'm finishing up some book by Heath. It's okay, but it's basically like how to be rich, and it's simple things. I mean, a lot of stuff he takes from Nightingale, a lot of premises he takes from Rich Dad Poor Dad, they're kind of the same soup warmed over, but it's a decent read. And then I have some book called, I think, $5 Pork Sandwich, and it's about political corruption, right? Because I'm always trying to challenge myself to think differently and to understand what difference is without changing my values. So, but even in all that, humanity is still very, 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 very present. And I think there are, so I think it's two-folded. I believe in committing fully to it. I also understand the complexity of those that don't, or those that will have trouble, because life will be life. And there are mitigating circumstances for everyone. Some have barriers that are just ridiculous. Every barrier is a barrier. I always say this, like, I can't tell you how big a mountain is. A mountain to a professional mountain climber, at whatever that is, let's say 5,000 feet, is maybe a doable task. A hill at 100 feet to somebody that doesn't work out is considered a mountain. So I'm not in a business of telling somebody how big their mountain is, but I do understand the effort that it takes, and sometimes not finding the support to continue, at least knowingly what that support looks like. So the more that I get into it, and this is why I said this is where business has to shift. There has to be a moral compass to it. Our job, and I think this is why the focus, particularly like this episode or whatever, is to not just give the words of affirmation, but the strategy and how to get through tough times when you're chasing something, whatever that something is, right? because those times are coming. You know, like you could make a vision board, whatever you want to do. Look, life is gonna be life, and it will life be lifing, right? So, but I think there is a grace that we are responsible for in providing the framework. So for me, this is something that I've been doing. I have really been focusing on helping entrepreneurs get past gatekeepers and understanding what the process is to the best of my knowledge without giving away the kitchen sink. Now, obviously, every business is going to protect some of its IP, some of its, practices and methodologies. That's just called capitalism, right? But I don't believe that in order to be a successful business, I have to not share. I have to not, bounce ideas off of somebody. And so what I've been doing, particularly in niches that are not this, is showing them, from content creation. And I would never consider myself the best. I don't even put myself on that platform, but I do think I can generate a like, right? Like I do think that, whatever else follows. But from how to market it to who to partner with, who to reach out to, agencies, like just the whole kind of process. So for you, what has giving back look like?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things I definitely want to do as life progresses and, this journey progresses for me is do just that, give back, right? Because there have been people in my life that, recognized pretty early on that, long before I even started with Ultra Health products, but kind of just believed in me and were like, hey, there's something different about Chris. Like he's got a vision for his life, and I'm someone, I've always kept my circle extremely small.
Sure.
And I want to continue to do that. But it's funny you say this, and it's funny you ask that question, because I actually had a few weeks ago, I got a call from someone I met at one of my trade shows I've been doing from a younger kid. And he basically asked me to kind of mentor him. And I thought, honestly, that was one of the coolest things that happened last year, just to have that realization that, like, holy cow, like he kind of, looks up to me in a way, and he's, talked to me and kind of seen my vision a little bit, and he wants a little help, and I was once that kid, right? I still am to some degree. I'm always teachable. But there's a lot of things I want to do as far as giving back. I actually, at some point, I want to start my own podcast. As I continue to network and continue to meet incredible people all over the world, I know doors will open up for me to do just that, to give back, right? I mean, the social media world we live in today is just crazy. The connections you can make all over the world.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I definitely learned last year is you don't have to have every single little thing figured out, right? The doors, and this goes back to being aligned with your vision, the doors will open for you, even being on this podcast, right? 2 years ago, if you would have told me I'd be on this, I would have thought you were crazy, right? Meeting incredible people, incredible entrepreneurs all over the world, so the doors just open. But yeah, there's a lot I want to do as far as giving back. I want to write a book. I would love to start kind of a networking club of entrepreneurs. But yeah, I'm excited for the future.
I like it, man. I like it. I like you said this, and I want to drill on this point, and I want you to elaborate more on it. You don't have to have it all figured out, and I think that's the secret sauce. Like, I to this day don't have it all figured out. I have just figured out a percentage of a percent, right? Like I can do this one thing well, and the rest of the stuff I'm learning, I'm meeting, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff because I do not know.
Right.
So to have that humility, like how do you go about having the vulnerability to tell somebody, hey, I might need help in this area. Can you assist?
Well, I think it's doing just that, being vulnerable, right? When people see that side of you and they see that humbleness, they take, they see that side and they feel that you're being genuine. If you're genuine with people, they will trust you,
True. In strategy, in life, you come to mountaintop moments, and then I feel like after you hit the mountaintop on that level, that plane, you realize there's more mountains.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's more mountains to climb. Fatigue is real, right? Fatigue is very, very real. Fatigue is very, very, very real. For you, how have you managed to combat the fatigue of it all?
I think for me, it's just staying true to the vision and, envisioning the life and the brand that I want to create, right? It's so easy to get caught up in kind of the day-to-day minutia, right? There's so many small details, right? Every day as business owners that we struggle with. But when we stay true to what we're truly wanting to build and craft on a daily basis, and, there's something to be said for the whole manifestation thing, right? I truly believe in that. But at the same time, you also have to put in the work. But on the same token, you also can't just be obsessed with the work and not even understand what you're working towards, right? They go hand in hand. And, one thing, I've been studying great people in every industry basically since I was a little kid, right? And one thing that is 100% certain, there is just something different about the way great people think, right? And I know people, they hear that and they don't fully understand or grasp what that even means. And a lot of people, they don't even, a lot of greats, they don't necessarily just come out and say it, right? The whole belief in envisioning and putting in the work on a daily basis of creating the life that you want to live, right? But you kind of have to listen to clues. And some people may not even realize that they're thinking in a certain way, right? You talk to a successful business owner and you ask them, how'd you even build this? How'd you even create it? And they said, I was just obsessed with my vision on a daily basis. That person gets it, right? They may not even understand exactly what they're doing, but they're putting in the work and they're staying true to that vision. So I think that's the most important thing, is staying true to the vision and what you're trying to create on a daily basis.
So who are these? So who has been, you said these great people, who are these people that have inspired you?
Oh my gosh. Phil Knight, the creator of Nike, his book Shoe Dog is the greatest book. Everyone needs to go read that. That is the only book that literally, as soon as I read it, I literally went to page 1 again and started to reread it. There's a lot of great people throughout history. Literally, I don't know if your viewers can see this, but this is a book called The 38 Letters from John D. Rockefeller to His Son. This is a $6 paperback. John D. Rockefeller, one of the most successful people of all time.
Standard Oil.
Yeah. I hadn't even heard of this book until about 3 or 4 months ago. And it is literally just chock full of so much life and business wisdom. It is literally mind-boggling. This should be required reading for every entrepreneur. But when I think about like the life I want to live, I think about the greats from President Lincoln to Dr. King. Those people, they inspire me on a daily basis. Steve Jobs. Yeah. Everyone needs to read his book or his biography by Walter Isaacson. I think it was written in 2011. Incredible book. Yeah. Again, it goes back to thinking different. I like it. That was his whole motto, right? But there's even musicians. Big Sean, Logic, Wale. I'm serious. Watch some of Big Sean's interviews about success in life. It's crazy.
It is.
And even J. Cole's another. I was even, I know it sounds funny, but it's like, I was even watching an interview with Jack Harlow earlier today, and he's talking about, this is, the life he's living now is what he's had in his mind since he was a little kid. Right. Yeah. And the vision he's crafted, and he just envisions that, people see him a certain way. And when he finally gets to that level, he's already on to the next one. Right. So it's just crazy. I would really say I started to kind of craft this vision when I was probably 16 or 17. And there's so many bumps in the road. Right. But when you stay true to you and keep your circle small, anything's possible.
I like the list. I like you listed some heavyweights, definitely heavyweights, from Rockefeller to Dr. King to Phil Knight, some artists like Harlow and Big Sean. There's a lot. I think and President Lincoln, I think they have a commonality thread that is only that person could be them. And what I mean by this, we think, and this is the mistake of every leader, and it can be digested as what I call false humility. Nobody can be Chris Reid but Chris. Nobody can be Cody Kelly but Cody. And sometimes we don't value the uniqueness in ourselves and the vision that God has given us that is only tailored for us. Nobody else can see through my eyes, right? I mean, maybe optically removing, but for the most part, this envisionment, right, is a bestowment that is self. It is for self, for us to bring about this greater good, this purpose. But I think what ends up happening early and the pitfalls is we think because this is so different and it's uncommon, therefore we're crazy. Or, because people don't catch on. If you tell somebody, like you said, it started at 16, you tell somebody, you think about, we go back to 16 years of age, the average teenager, you tell them, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this company and do this. Like, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about starting a company or why in this industry or why in this niche. So sometimes when we share information, it can get shot down and it can hurt. It can hurt, because people start doubting you. But I said one of the things that, and I promised myself, I was like, I'm going to get back to understanding and I don't mean like believing in me. I've never had a problem with that. I think it's not always compromising the belief in self for others. Oh, this is going to sound terrible. For other people to like it, right? So I think it's okay to like you. Not right. Some big-headed way, but it's okay to like you, right? It's okay to be like, oh, shoot, I can do this, right? And I think that's needed, because as a leader, we just got, last year I was on a podcast. Shout out to Movie Lovers, TV Lovers Unite. John DeGregorio, man. There's a book called Be Useful by Arnold. 7 tips of 7 tips to be successful, something like that. But basically, Arnold brings up this whole thing that in 1968, when he came over here, bodybuilding was not a thing. People did it, but the sport that we know today did not exist, right? Like, yes, they were Mr. Olympia, but the scale of it, he's like, but I had to believe that I could be the best bodybuilder. And then I had to believe that I could be governor of California. He was like, and then before that, I had to believe I could be a leading man in Hollywood with a German accent, right? Like this almost delusional, but yet intoxicating addiction to this belief is what drove him to do this. And as he went, now Arnold is cemented, right? He's on Mortal Kombat video games, right? So, how have you maintained that fire? And I know you talk about keeping your circle small. I don't care how small you keep your circle, you interact with people every day, right? So, how have you maintained that fire of self-belief?
It's understanding that the greats throughout history have all been a little crazy. And I'm 100% serious when I say that. It is okay to be different and to think different. right? If we want a different life, then we have to do different things. And there's just something deep down inside of me that I just refuse to live an average life. It doesn't mean that I'm going to make millions of dollars and live this just incredible life, but by golly, I'm going to try, right? Like at the end of the day, I can look myself in the mirror and say, I'm giving it all I have, right? I'm doing everything in my power to be different and to live a different life. And it's just, you can take a little bit of pride in that, right? And also understanding that, I mentioned earlier that, I took a different life path from everyone else. And, one of the hardest parts is seeing everyone else seemingly have, the standard life story and success, right, of the corporate world. There's nothing wrong with that. I just knew that life was not for me, right? And you got to understand that a lot of those people, they might look happy on social media, but at the end of the day, they aren't, right?
Yeah.
And if you would have told me when I was younger, hey, option A, you're going to get a corporate job at 23, you're going to start a family at 25, and you're going to make an okay amount of money, and you're going to retire at 65, and you're going to live a decent, quiet life in a small Midwestern town, right? Everything's going to go okay. You're going to make it to the end of your life, and everything's going to be fine. Option B, in your 20s, you are going to give it everything you have to launch your own company and to chase success, right? Yeah. And it's going to be hard. There's going to be a million ups and downs. You're going to doubt yourself every step of the way. It's going to be scary. It's going to be terrifying, right? Mm-hmm. But you are going to know at the end of the day that you're chasing something that most people just don't have the guts to do, right? I would have taken that step 100% of the time, that path, right? Mm-hmm. And there's just so many, like I said, there's so many ups and downs, right? But when you can just maintain that vision and that understanding, it's okay to have a little bit of pride in what you're doing, right? And what you're building and the incredible connections you're making. And a year or so ago when I started Ultra Health Products, like literally, and I mean this 100%, I just wanted my own product, right? I just wanted to look at this and be like, wow, to have that feeling of I have my own company and my own products, right? And I feel like, and you hear this all the time as you climb the success ladder or whatever they call it, the goalposts just keep moving, right? You think you want something and you get it and you're already on to the next one, and you're just like, when does the fulfillment come, right? When does the joy come? So I think it's so important to truly live in the moment and have appreciation for what you're doing and what you're building, right? Sure. I meet all different kinds of people these days, right? And to kind of tell the story behind Ultra Health Products and how it came about, because like I said, yeah, we're a year old now, but this has been literally years in the making for me. But to see the kind of like shock and awe almost of people like, holy cow, like this is your company, like this is your brand. That's really cool, right? Like that is an amazing feeling. And it's something that I just want to continue to build on as 2025 progresses. And we got a lot in the works and I'm super excited about it. But yeah, I'm just excited and really trying to live in the moment and enjoy the journey.
I like that. I think the journey helps you appreciate all the variables that go into it, good, bad, or in between. And I don't think, I mean, obviously there are what we would consider winning metrics or winning points, but I don't necessarily live for that anymore. And like, it's weird. I don't mean some hippie way, but I do mean it like the more you do it, the differentiator becomes just the doing it, like the layers, the processes that are built out. Like all of a sudden, even though analytics matter and they do matter, but they're not what I live for, right? Like I have never been like, oh, and that was oh man, we didn't get the reach we thought we was.
Right.
I mean, obviously when you're having that internal meeting, those discussions come about, but it's not like, oh man, I thought for sure that was gonna do 100,000 views, So, I have had more enjoyment as I hear a siren goes off. The beauty of living in Chicago. That's why I edit everything. I've had more enjoyment in watching this baby grow than actually being what I would call the perfect leader of it. I would say that the mistakes I've made has made me a better leader. Like I know what not to do. And that's the coolest thing, because it's like, oh, I've done that. That was dumb, So, but now I'm entering into what I would call real strategy phase. I'm not throwing darts at the wall. And I think that every business, every person will come to a point where you become a bit more strategic. The throw is a bit crisper. I call it the last 5 year of Brady's career versus the first 15, right? And Brady was great the first 15. Let's not get it twisted. But yeah, he was different. The last 5, he was way different. So let's go here. I know we're coming to a close. I want to thank my guests again for being on here. I want to talk about mistakes, right? Because I never, as a person of faith, as who I am, I never want to come off as self-righteous or having mastered. I said I'm mastering what I failed at. I'm learning what I'm not good at. And then I'm still reaching for what I need to do, right? So let's go for here. For you, where do you think you could have done better? And then what did you learn from it?
Whew, that's a tough question. Obviously, in retrospect, it's easy to kind of nitpick and say there's certain things we could have done better. But I have learned the mistakes make us who we are, right? And I've learned so much from those mistakes. And the people that we think have it figured out, they didn't have it figured out in the beginning, and to some degree, they still don't. But obviously there's small things. I wish I would have just taken the leap of faith sooner, to be honest with you, and launched my own brand and launched my own company. I doubted myself for the longest time. I just thought, hey, I don't know how to start my own company, right? Like, I don't know how to do that. How do I find a manufacturer? I doubted myself for too long. I think that was the number one mistake. And obviously I still, deal with that to some degree, but I just wish I would have believed in myself and my ability, and not even in just myself, but in the people around me, right? To help kind of connect the dots. Because I do have an incredible team around me that I wouldn't be here without them. But to answer your question, I wish I would have taken the leap of faith sooner and believed in myself to a greater degree sooner.
Sure. I'll take it. I'm just gonna be a bit more transparent, but I'll take it. All right. I'll let you out of here. A little softball question, a little loft. Question. All right. Little one to go by. Something unrelated, totally unrelated. Oh gosh, let's see where this goes. Greatest basketball player.
Oh my God, Michael Jordan.
I tend to disagree. I will say heart and heart, and I love MJ as a Chicagoan, as somebody that remembers the last 3. I'm going with LeBron James. And I don't care. Anybody can argue the 6 for 6. Anybody can argue the mindset. I love his mindset. I've watched The Last Dance 1,000 times. I kid you not. I think MJ's the greatest competitor. I don't think he's the greatest basketball player. But you know what? I have teetered on this because even though I am a LeBron fan, the more I have watched, the more I'm almost willing to replace LeBron with Kobe and go Kobe 1, LeBron 2, Michael 3. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's just the more I look at it and I kind of see it objectively, I say I'm going to take his 20 years, Kobe's 20 years, Michael's 15 years, and look at the full scope. I'm gonna still go with LeBron for right now, but I think my pick might be switching very soon. But I look, I respect it. Everybody loves MJ. MJ is gonna be MJ. MJ is gonna be MJ, right? Like if he ever came to me, he was like, "Who's the greatest?" I'd be like, "It's you, MJ. Of course it's you." You know, but MJ is gonna be MJ. Also, all right, Chris, where can they connect with you, man?
At Ultra Health Products on all platforms, ultrahealthproducts.com. My Instagram is Chris Reid, CEO. But yeah, we got a lot in the works for 2025. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow us on all platforms at Ultra Health Products.
Y'all connect with him, connect with Chris Reid. Y'all, and if you want to keep seeing amazing leaders like we have on today, you know what we got to do, what you got to do. One word, 4 letters, YouTube, CVMK, man, it's going down. Look, there's a list, there's a whole host. There's too many platforms today. I said, like, I'm always reading and discovering and signing up to a new platform. But CVMK Global, if you see the bear on the shirt, you see the bear, right? If you see the bear, you know where it's at. CMk Global, hit us up. Follow us also on the podcast one, man. It is what it is _show. Yeah, I'm telling you. I got some episodes. I'm just saying, yeah. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Follow us on it is what it is _show. Look, I want you to go to Fanbase. Shout out to Fanbase. Everybody's talking about the gram, whatever. Look, Fanbase, where it's at. Go to Fanbase. Hit us up, man. CVMK. It's going down. 2025 is your year. I want you to win. I want you to get this. I want you to like, share, subscribe, comment, connect with Chris. He's got an amazing company. Connect with your boy. You know what we do over here at the CVMK show. And until next time, guys.